Hey, welcome back everybody to Dude and His Drones. So today I'm talking about a question that I see asked daily, and I see a lot of misconceptions about this question. And is it, do you need to get a Part 107 certificate? So this applies only to the US, so we'll start right there. But I'm going to try to help you answer that question. So there's a lot of misinformation, and that's because the rules do change. And the latest change to this rule was 2018 FAA Reauthorization Act, signed into law on October 5th, 2018. So it used to be the rule of thumb was for furtherance of a business, but that rule has since become obsolete and a new rule is in place, which is where I think a lot of these misconceptions are born from. It used to be as long as you weren't making money or working for a business, you didn't need a Part 107 certificate to fly a drone. Now that verbiage has changed, and what matters most is your intent at the time of flight. So depending on your intent at the time of flight, are you flying for the pure fun of flight? In which case you are flying under the exception for limited recreational operations of unmanned aircraft. Or are you flying with the intent to say like make a YouTube video or a social media post, and that's the complete intent of the flight, then you are under a Part 107 flight. The way the FAA sees it, all flights are 107 unless otherwise flown under the exception for recreational flight. So flying to impress your girl on TikTok or whatever video or photo posting platform you share to is not recreational. There are 8 conditions you must meet in order to fly under the recreational exception, but as of this video, there's only 6 or 7 that are applicable. I'm not sure if it's 6 or 7. I thought it was just 7, so let's go through them and you guys can figure it out for yourselves. So, number 1, the aircraft is flown strictly for the purposes of recreational flight. It's pretty self-explanatory. What that means is that you're flying the drone just to fly the drone. The camera being attached to it is just a consequence of it. It's not the intent of it. So that's an important part to understand. There's a lot of people who try to subvert the intent of the law. They're like, oh, but what if you do this? Oh, but what if you do that? More than likely, if you're asking that question, you probably need a Part 107 license. And I know that's not a popular opinion, but it's the opinion that I believe the FAA has. Number 2, the aircraft is operated in accordance with or within the programming of a community-based organization's set of safety guidelines that are developed in coordination with the FAA. For instance, the AMA, the Academy of Model Aeronautics, is an organization that has developed their own set of safety guidelines and requires a membership fee. However, I don't think that adhering to their guidelines requires you to adhere to the payment of fees. Okay, number 3, the aircraft is flown within the visual line of sight of the person operating the aircraft or a visual observer co-located and in direct communication with the operator. So you need to maintain VLOS, or you have to use a separate visual observer who has to be physically near you. So you cannot use technology to communicate, and you cannot extend VLOS by setting additional visual observers in a daisy chain. Number 4, the aircraft is operated in a manner that does not interfere with and gives way to any manned aircraft. That's pretty self-explanatory. Give way to all other aircraft because inherently they have more to lose than you do. And that's the main reason why drones will always give way to manned aircraft. Always give way to manned aircraft. Number 5, in Class B, Class C, or Class D airspace, or within the lateral boundaries of the surface area of Class E airspace designated for an airport, the operator obtains prior authorization from the administrator or designee before operating and complies with all airspace restrictions and prohibitions. So what that means is you got to use LANCE. You got to get permission to fly in that airspace. Pretty self-explanatory. Number 6, in Class G airspace, the aircraft is flown from the surface to not more than 400 feet above ground level and complies with all airspace restrictions and prohibitions. So what that means is you can't go over 400 feet, period. No caveats, no exclusions, only allowed to go 400 feet off the ground, period. Number 7. So number 7 is one of the ones I know right now is not applicable, but will be applicable in the near future. Number 7, the operator has passed an aeronautical knowledge and safety test and maintains proof of test passage to be made available to the administrator or a designee of the administrator or law enforcement upon request. This isn't implemented yet, but it's kind of like what a 107 has to do. He has to have his license with him at all times, his 107 certificate. And also you need to have, which rolls into the next one, number 8, the aircraft is registered and marked, and proof of registration is made available to the administrator or a designee of the administrator or law enforcement upon request. So what that means is you got to have that little certificate that you get from the drone zone on the FAA's website that basically has that little thing that says, hey, I'm flying this for recreation, and you need to have that on your drone itself. So the 8 rules, 7 right now. Somebody told me there were 6 that were only applicable right now, but I'm not sure what that second one is. So if you do know, let me know in the comments which one of these is currently not applicable. Could be the AMA one, the one that requires you to adhere to a set of safety guidelines, such as the Academy of Model Aeronautics, but I'm not sure about that. So I hope this helps you decide if you personally need a Part 107 certificate. I know there's a lot of debate, but to me it's pretty cut and dry. I also want you to remember, I'm not a lawyer. I can't give you legal advice. So this is not legal advice. Always consult your local guidelines and see if there are further restrictions you need to adhere to for your local area. And as always, please fly safe. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you next time.